Lizzo, I'm so pumped to meet you. Oh my God.
Pleasure is all mine over here.
You've described your music as church with a twerk.
What?
Elaborate.
Yes.
Elaborate on this.
This quote is going all over the world.
Because it's the greatest quote ever.
Wow. When did I even say this? Was this on Jonathan Ross when I said it?
Oh, you didn't say this?
No, I've said it. But I didn't say it with like any type of... I didn't like meditate on being like, you know what my genre is? Church with a twerk. Like, it kind of just came out my mouth one day, and now it's like the thing. But it is.
It kind of, it's funny. It sticks in your head. Have you ever twerked in church? I have to ask.
Ooh, I don't mock the spirit. I never twerked in church. Nah. But I feel like my shows are very spiritual and special. I mean, I'll go from being like, can I get an amen? And they'll be like, amen. So bending over and shaking it. So, yeah, I guess you could say that the energy is spiritual, but you also get this vibe that's like a dance party.
This album, tell me everything. What do you give it to me?
This album is incredible. I feel like I made a little masterpiece, my own masterpiece. And I'm so proud of it. I'm so excited to have Missy Elliott and Gucci Mane together on this album as my only features. There's some songs on here that I'm like, damn, who wrote that shit? Like, 'Cause I Love You. Like, if I didn't write that song, I would want to find out who wrote that song. That song's amazing. And I just feel like it's a really special experience from the beginning to the end. I feel like you're going to have every emotion. You're going to feel happy. You're going to want to cry. You're going to want to smile. You're going to want to go in the bathroom and put some lipstick on, you two fellas, and just dance around. I want people to feel empowered by the end of the album. And I want people to go on a journey with me on how to continue to love yourself out here in this crazy world that sometimes doesn't love you back. And I don't know, I just am so excited to perform it on the road. I love singing these songs. I wrote them in the studio, and I've been singing them ever since to myself, and now I get to sing them out loud because it's not a secret anymore.
What is your family? What do they think when they heard this stuff? Like, oh my God, this is my, sister, brother, daughter, whoever. What was their reaction when they heard this for the first time?
Man, they were really proud of me. My family's very, very overwhelmingly proud of me. Too much so.
What does that mean?
I was like, I'm moving to LA, and then a week later they all moved to LA. They're like, we're here to support you, honey. And whatever pool you have at your house.
So everybody's with you now.
In varying ways, yes, they're all here, but they've been really supportive. And when I play my music for them, my music used to be so bad.
Oh, here we go.
My rock band was so terrible. I know that they're probably mad at me that I keep saying this in interviews, but we were not the best band. We were fun, and we had an energy, and individually they were all talented, but together it was crazy. And so when my mom heard that back in the day, she'd be like, okay, what my baby doing? What my baby doing? And now when she listens, she's like, oh, this is a real song. I feel like maybe it was Good as Hell was the first time my mom was like, oh, she didn't come to play. She's going for the big league. So they're all proud of me. They love the music. They're criers too. They all be crying and stuff. Like, what you crying for?
I just got to know the name of the name of the terrible rock band you were in. What was it?
I'm not telling, because if you look it up,
it's that bad.
MySpace lost all of that music. Do you heard about that?
I did. Yeah. So you're glad.
I'm so grateful, because that means that our songs are not on the internet anymore.
I almost need to find, because the fact that it's so bad. I've heard bad, but I need to hear
listen,
bad.
I don't think it's them. It was me. I wasn't a very good singer back then. And so I was just yelling. Like, you can imagine the way that I yell now, uncontrolled and wild, thinking I was doing something, but I wasn't. I was the problem.
Oh, my God. It's not you. It's me.
I was the problem.
Oh, my God. I'm told when you were younger in Houston, you used to call radio stations randomly and say, hey, I want to do some freestyle rap or whatever. And I don't know what happened with those. Give me some of those stories.
Oh, well, no. So it was one station in Houston, 97.9 The Box. And in the morning,
I know that station.
Matt had a morning show. And I would call the Matt had a morning show, and they would be like, what's up, y'all? What you got to say? Who's on the mic or had his cruise today? And I'd be like, my name is Lizzo, and I'm from the West. I would do my little rap. And if you rapped, you could win tickets to concerts. And one time, I would always win, because come on.
Come on now.
Come on now. But once I won and Mad Hatter off the air, he was like, yo, what's your name again? I was like, Lizzo. And he was like, yo, you the truth. You really and I thought he was about to sign me. I thought I was about to be famous. I was 16. I was like, oh my gosh, y'all, I'm dropping out of school. I'm independent now. Then nothing happened after that. But that was a really special, like, that was confirmation that I was that bitch.
Have you talked to that guy or that station or any of them since you've blown up?
I haven't talked to 97.9 or no, like, Natay and Mad Hatter. But I will say, they do retweet me and they've reposted me. And so I, like, quote tweeted and was like, oh my God, full circle. I used to, I told them I used to, call into y'all, but I don't think it's going to happen until I go down there.
Juice, tell me everything. Give it to me. Let's play it.
You want to play this song,
I want to play this song, Juice.
Juice, this is going to be the best song you've ever heard in your whole life. If you were thirsty, you're not going to be hydrated. If you were sleepy, you're not going to be wide awake. If you were ashy, you're going to be moisturized. If your breath stank, it's about to smell like flowers. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Yeah. Wait, was that it? Was I supposed to intro it?
You can intro it if you want.
Or just talk about how I made it, like regular things.
You can give me that too. Give me a little how you made it, whatever, too.
Juice is fun. I was in the studio working on a lot of songs for a long time, and I got to the point where I was like, I need like an undeniable track. I came in the studio and I was like, just play me a track that you know is it. And the producer, Ricky, he played the track. And I was like, this is it. It's emotional. It's beautiful. It's fun. It's light. And I just really talked my shit over it. I don't really talk shit a lot on records about myself, like, ooh, bitch, let's go, like that. But I was like, let's go. And there's a clip. Actually, it's not just a clip. It's a whole movie, The Blues Brothers. But Aretha Franklin, when she sings, you better think about what you're trying to do to me. Freedom, you know that song?
Yep. This is from the movie you're talking?
From Blues Brothers, I think it's from that movie. But that scene inspired the song Juice.
Oh, wow.
Like as it was being written, we just kept referencing that scene. We were like, and then she just got her girls behind her being like, you better get out of her DMs. And then we were like, let's get some girls on it. So I called my friends, I group chatted them. And I was like, come to the studio and hop on the track. So all my friends, one who like normally lives in New York and is never in LA, was just randomly in town, and all my closest girlfriends were there, and we were all in the studio just singing it. Yeah, so you can hear their little voices. You can hear somebody go, okay. That's my hairstylist.
Lizzo, you're an advocate for body positivity. I know I joke around a lot, but this is an important thing to talk about, and a lot of kids go through a lot of crazy stuff, Give me your take on all this.
Well, a lot of people go through it.
A lot of people, yeah.
I think it's funny because I've just always been somebody who dedicated myself to just speaking positivity and manifesting positivity into my music. Music can be a self-fulfilling prophecy. And especially, you think about that, you spell words are spelled. So every night you're on stage saying the same thing over and over and over again. I don't want to be on stage talking about, I don't love myself, I'm tired, I'm depressed, because that's what my life is going to be like. So I made a point to be like, if I want to start loving my body, I got to start speaking it. And then the body positive movement started. And I'm really excited because the movement is growing and reaching so many people, because it's not just young people who need to be told that they're perfect just the way they are. It's adults especially.
Amen.
who turn around and teach the younger people all of the brainwashing that they learned, and they didn't get to unlearn it. So I feel like that's where the cycle is. You got your parents being like, oh, well, okay, here's some Slim Fast. I was drinking Slim Fast when I was like 14, man. I shouldn't have been on diet pills and Slim Fast at 14. And, my parents didn't know that it was wrong. They just wanted me to be happy. They just wanted me to look the way that society says a healthy body's supposed to look. But if you think about it, if I got a ton of chocolate sugar in my body and like speed, basically, if I'm thin, I'm not healthy. There's something wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm better off being big eating kale than, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Skinny and on amphetamines. So anyway, I'm just saying, like, my music is for everybody and this message is for everybody. And it's a really exciting time right now because there's so much visibility. You can see all different kinds of people if you go on Instagram, and you can see yourself in them, and you can see beautiful people that look like you. That was something that we didn't have early in the 90s and stuff. Now I can look and be like, oh, back fat is beautiful because this girl has back fat and she fine. Look at her. I'm just like her. And I just want to be that person for people. Even if you don't look like me, if I learn to love myself, then you can learn to love yourself too.
You had some odd jobs in the past, and just walk me through these. Just tell me if these are even true. And Cirque du Soleil, you were the Cirque du Soleil photographer. Is that real?
Yes. Okay. I was a photographer for Cirque du Soleil for the Kuzma show that was in Denver downtown. So that I wasn't traveling with Cirque taking photos of contortionists. I was like taking pictures at Cirque of families.
Gotcha.
I was like a family photographer.
So you didn't take pics of them at all, just the people coming to see the show.
Yes.
Oh, gotcha. All right.
Wait, but I'm still a photographer for Cirque du Soleil.
I'm not shaming
Put some respect on my name.
You were a photographer for Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah, man.
That's right. All right. What about this? You were the Statue of Liberty for Liberty Taxes, which is a tax joint in Texas, I guess, right?
Yeah, I was. But you know what's funny?
What?
I applied for the job. It's the spinner. When you stand on the street and you spin the little sign. And I came in like full glam and pumps. And they were like, well, you got the job, but like, are you sure you want to be out there? I had on pumps and I was spinning the sign.
Oh my God.
And they were like, you look too good to be doing this. So why don't you become our lady ambassador where you dress up as a Statue of Liberty and go to business and try to sell Liberty Taxes? So I was like, okay. So I did it for like a week and then I quit.
Oh my God.
There's pictures. I was fine.
You
I was
are fine.
Fine ass Statue of Liberty.
Did they make bigger sales when you showed up? Like,
I
you
hope
killed
so.
this thing, right?
I hope they had that 1 week that I was there.
They're like, we sure miss her. That 1 week was great. Hey, what about, okay, this job is not this is not an odd job at all. A waitress. You were a waitress. Yeah. We all did some sort of, I am curious, because some people try to jack with their waiters or waitresses, you know. I'm guessing that did not happen with you, or if they did, you just mess with them. Do you have one of those stories? Because
no,
I would do that if I were in that. Yeah.
I actually took a lot of shit. Can I say that? Can you bleep me?
I'll bleep, yeah.
I was a really like, yes sir, yes ma'am type of server. And I remember I'm in Detroit, my family, they say salmon. I worked at McCormick and Schmick fish restaurant, and I was saying salmon. And to a guest, I was like, well, the salmon today is and this was in Minnesota at this point. He was like, salmon. And he kept correcting me. And I was like, I refused to say it the way he wanted. And I was like, okay, well, the salmon. And he was just getting more and more angry. And I was like, you know what? Let me just say salmon to shut his ass up. But yeah, I was definitely like a really subservient server. I wasn't like the, get over here, fella. I served a lot of cops. I worked at Le Pete breakfast restaurant at like 5 a.m. I was serving cops. I didn't want that cop smoke. So I was like, here's your coffee, here's your eggs.
True or false? Once as a kid, you skipped school to go see at Walmart Destiny's Child.
That is true.
Tell me all about this real quick.
Well, it was in the 5th grade, and I was so bored because I was in literature and I didn't want to be there. And I saw all of a sudden the principal was like, please, Melissa, please come to the principal's office. I was like, yes. I didn't even know why I was happy. And it was my sister. And she was like, we're getting out of here. And I was like, where are we going? And she's like, go see Destiny's Child at Walmart. I'm like, ah! So we went to the Walmart on Dunville. And everyone thinks, when I first heard the story, when I told it, people were like, oh, were they like inside of Walmart, like buying shirts or something? Nah, this was like an outdoor stage built for them. And it was like a lot of people. And I just remember standing, trying to like catch a glimpse of them. And they would always sing this gospel medley that was so beautiful. And I remember when they sang it, I was like, wow, everybody could feel the energy and the specialness, and everyone had goosebumps. And I just remember being like, I want to make people feel this way. Like, one day I want to make people get goosebumps and feel the way that Beyonce got me feeling right now, all up in my feelings. And then a few years later, me and Michelle did the Super Jam at Bonnaroo.
No kidding.
And I got to tell her, she was like, you did so good, because I messed up. Because I was singing in the wrong key, so I was like depressed and crying. And then Michelle comes up to me and was like, you did so good. You can sing, girl. And I was like, wow, you're consoling me in the time I needed the most. But girl, let me tell you something. I skipped school. I was like, thanks, girl. Okay, but listen, I skipped school in 5th grade to see you. And she was like, girl, you know how many people did that? Y'all should have stayed in school. You need to stay in school. I was like, Michelle, I'm a grown-ass woman.
Like, it's okay now.
Grown. We're fine. I graduated. But yeah, no, that was really cool. That was a full circle moment. But yeah, I did. That's a long story. I'm telling long stories.
Can you imagine Beyonce? I mean, right now, to picture Beyonce performing at Walmart is just kind of crazy to think, you know. But man, look where they've come. Have you met Beyonce since then, ever?
I mean, I've had my opportunities, but I don't want to just meet Beyonce. I want her to, I want her to want to have an interaction with me, which I think, because Beyonce meets people all the time, and I think that's really cool. It's really special for me to be like, hey. But in my mind, I want her to acknowledge and be like, I like your music. So I'm just waiting.
It's going to happen.
I saw her hand once.
What?
I performed. She was in the audience at the GLAAD Awards. I performed at the GLAAD Awards, and I was behind her head. And I have all these moments with Beyonce's body parts, but not Beyonce. So I've met the back of her head. I've met her hand. And then once at the VMAs, I got pushed away by her security guard because I was too close to her wrist.
God, never get too close. You know what, though? You say words are power. Here it is. You're going to meet her at some point, and everything you just said, you know it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. It's just going to happen. So there's that. I'm putting it out there. I am curious to hear your story about the Prince collab.
Oh.
This is, I mean, speaking of a guy who's hit #1 and all this stuff, and he's just, inspired generations, just like Beyonce and Destiny. What was it like collabing? What was the story? You and Prince.
How do I tell what I can tell? Okay, I will say this. I will say that on Easter Sunday, I was summoned to Paisley Park to sing on Prince's album. And I remember being very nervous. And I remember being kind of like, well, is he going to like this? Is this going to be good enough? Is my voice too crazy? And I just threw everything at him. I was like, I'm going to rap, I'm going to sing, and I'm going to scream. Because, he'll do the So I was like, I'm going to do a I was like, let me give him everything. And he gave us just one note. He said, make this your song. Like, it's not my song. Pretend. Because me and my best friend, DJ Sophia Ayers, she is also on the song, which he loved her voice. He made a remix out of just her voice. I was like, okay, Prince, I see how it is. But anyway, but we went in and, performed on his mic with the little purple frill coming off of it. And I remember I smelled it. I was like, because, you can still smell the spit sometimes. God. And I did everything, right? I did all the weird shit I wanted to do stuff. And then months and months and months and months and months later, I was like, man, he gonna take my vocal off. He gonna change this, that. And he left everything in, even my And for me, and mind you, he cut a lot of things out of that song. No shade. He cut a lot of people off that song. We won't say no names. But he left all of my weirdness in, and that really validated me. And I really feel like I became like an artist that day. Like before I was just a rapper who didn't really know. I was like, I'm a rapper who can kind of sing, and I'll be writing weird, disjointed songs. But after that, I really felt validated as an artist, that someone like Prince could believe in me enough to let me do what I wanted to do and keep it on there and like it so much that he sold it. He put it out. It's out there in the world. So that was special. Shout out Minneapolis, Minnesota. That city really changed my life.
Another question about your mom and your parents. When they heard that, what was their reaction to that one?
My mama saw Prince sitting on his motorcycle at Paisley Park, and she was like, baby, I just want to let you know. She was like, I just want to let you know, anything you do from now on, sis. Like,
my mom whatever you want.
Sis. Yeah, she was like, girl, I am a fangirl. I'm giddy. Like, she's like, I'm so proud of you. This is unbelievable. Like, she couldn't even believe it.
Thank you for hanging out.
Thank you for having me.
At the end of every interview, fist bump to make it official. Give me a little.
Oh my God.
Give me a little.
Yeah. Was that an explosion?
That was nice.